how can you get curious on your next call with the client? Asking questions like, hey, tell me more. Okay, that's interesting. Why do you want that, right? Just get curious. And when you're doing it, not because you're trying to sell someone on something, but actually genuinely care about where is it that they want to go. How did therapy change sales for us in our business? And
That's the $1 million question.
That's $1 million question. Okay. How did therapy change our business when it comes to sales, which sounds really silly, and how it's helped us make more money and help serve our clients better? That is $1 million question. Yeah. When I mentioned it to Jessica this morning, she was like, what are you talking about?
I was like, what are you talking about? I liked it. I thought it was catchy, but
funny enough, our best friend Sarah has given us so much good business advice, which I don't know if she'd even realize it's business advice, because usually we're the ones giving her business advice. She's the one giving us marriage advice, saving our marriage time and time again, and making us get along better. But I'd say it's really simple, but it warrants like taking the time to really understand why it's so powerful and how much it can one only make your business more money, but also help you serve your clients better and make them more money, which is going to help keep things going. And what I call make win-wins, which I think win-wins is when you think about abundance and how do you have a limitless business. It all sounds maybe like more like woo-woo and like fun, but it's true when you can create value. So if you remembered it.
When we've been doing therapy for, I would say, the past couple years with our friend, but then more seriously in the past few months, like with a therapist. And one of the big things that always comes up is understanding the other person's perspective. So when you don't understand where the other person's coming from, you jump to conclusions. You assume that they're out to get you. You assume that they don't have your best interests at heart. And so I feel like we're constantly trying to practice in therapy, getting curious, understanding the other person. And that has been a skill that we didn't even realize is translated over so closely to business in terms of actually helping other people.
I think, the quick answer is getting curious, which Sarah says time and time again, she's really good at it. But what does it actually do? And I think what Jessica just said is really good, is it's not jumping to conclusions. And I think in media, for instance, we always think we have like the answer, right? We're like, oh, the client just needs to do this. But if you don't understand where they really want to go, there may be like, you're trying to sell them on a trip to New York City and they want to go to Europe, right? Like a travel agent. And also uncover more ways that you could actually help them better. And it may actually be a bigger budget and be better for you too. But one of the things that she talks about, which I think I wasn't planning on going into, but I think would actually work in this, is from a therapy side, the negative cycle. And the negative cycle starts where like you have people that are either protesters or they're withdrawers. There's also other stuff there, but basically like, hey, we get in conflict, I tend to get quiet and go sulk around.
I also tend to get quiet, which doesn't help.
We take turns. It's really fun. But in business though, if you're going to help a client, right, you want to understand as much about them as possible, but it's this hard dance where you're trying to figure out, how do I find out as much about them as possible, but not feel like I'm trying to have them get naked in their business in front of me. Like, what's your revenue numbers? What are all these things that feel vulnerable and feel awkward? Just ask someone off the get-go, right? And why I'm not a proponent of like, it's not the best thing to just ask someone for their budget right away, because it feels like you're just serving like, great, how can I charge them as much money as possible, right? And it doesn't matter because you're not figuring out where they want to go. But we can price around, and this is where we get a whole video separate on how do you do value-based pricing, where it's not about like how much time you're spending, what the deliverables are, but what's the outcome you're getting your client. But to understand where they want to go is key, because then you can reverse engineer the best path to get them there. So, but where the negative cycle comes in here, can I just hold the baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Oh, you want to be a star? She's a star, everybody. Okay. But where it comes into the negative cycle is that we all have our defenses, right? So if we don't feel safe, we start putting up defenses, and we're not going to want to share more information and be vulnerable about our business with someone if we don't feel safe with them, right? So when you're talking with a client, learning how to get curious in a way that gets people to open up is key. So part of it is opening with your own vulnerability, but even when it starts with calls, like I always tell our clients, like, I like lead with like something I got from TJ over at Crow's Nest Consulting. Shout out to him. Is called PAD, which is purpose, agenda, decision. So I start off with the call saying, hey, purpose of this call is just hear more about you guys. What's working in your business? Where do you want to go? And then we're going to chat through how we can maybe get there and make a decision if we want to work together. But it's not about how do I sell you on video. A lot of times I say maybe video isn't even the option that you need, right? Maybe there's a different route, but that builds so much trust that they know that I'm just not trying to sell them. I'm actually working to get them an outcome that they desire. So, which is also, I think, in therapy too. When you meet with the therapist, you're like, what are you guys hoping to do? Where are you guys trying to go? What are the problems? And it starts, how do you frame their problems in a way that they're open to talk about it? right? That's the thing. You're trying to figure out what's the problem in their way. And the best way to get them to open up with that problem, here's the key. I hear it all the time. I remember when I was stuck and like people say, solve better problems. I'm like, great, what's your problem? And people are like, I don't got problems, right? Like in therapy, like if therapists like, hey, what's your problem? Be like, I don't got problems. I'm fine. That's like the defensiveness, right? The key to start uncovering the problem is like, hey, in a year from now, we're chatting. Where do you want to be? What are your dreams? What would be really exciting?
This is what getting curious looks
This is what getting curious looks like. And it comes in from a positive angle, right? You're saying, where do you want to go? And now you're saying, hey, if you're not there yet, what's in your way? And that is going to, that's a got on the pants, not the chair. We're in Spit Up Nation over here. Oh, wow. I'm going to need to change pants. But the really cool thing about leading with where they want to go is it naturally then opens up the door to have an honest conversation of what's stopping them, right? Versus when you come in saying, what's your problem? You're not going to be, people usually like have a stonewall to that too. So that's one way. Another way is when people reach out to you saying, hey, we want a headliner video or whatever it is that they want. This is more for like commercial work is I always like to lead saying, why? Why is it that you want that? Because they're thinking, hey, they're where we're at currently. We want to get here and there's an obstacle in the way. They're trying to figure out how do I like eliminate that problem? And to them, a video may be the solution, but it may not be the best solution. And from us, like, and after you do this for years, you can learn best ways to help them overcome that. And that's why being really good in business is going to help you serve your other clients better too, is you're going to find out ways, what are the most creative and efficient ways to get them there? And that way they're not just hiring you for content, they're hiring you for your creativity.
Yeah.
And that creativity is both the photo, the video.
Therapist. Consider yourself a creative therapist trying to diagnose your clients' problems without making them aware that you're telling them they have a problem and help them come to the conclusion of what they need on their own, which is your services.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing is sometimes sales can feel like this whole manipulative thing. And then if they ever find out like, oh, they got you. Here's what I do. I literally go through clients with this process and then I tell them what I did, because the cool thing is when you're selling from this perspective, you're actually helping them uncover the solution for them. And the key is a lot of the times now your job is, because you're good at it, is you help them do the same thing for their clients.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's how it's like.
We all just need a little bit more therapy in our lives.
We all just need more therapy in our lives. So I guess the question is, how can you get curious on your next call with a client? And if you're not, and here's the thing too, if you're someone and you're wanting to do more commercial work or more work for brands, right? You're like, how do I get those? Start with getting curious. So whether there's already people you're working with, there's definitely people in your sphere that are business owners. If there's not, there's your first problem. You need to figure out how to get into circles where you're talking to other business owners, maybe not employees, but
and practice getting curious.
Yeah, practice getting curious. And you could practice with your family too. Just get curious and asking questions like, hey, tell me more. Okay, that's interesting. Why do you want that, right? And the more you can get comfortable, because it's going to feel really awkward at first, right? It's going to feel really awkward, but you need to, like, that's how you get really good at sales. So do it with your family, do it with your friends, and then start doing it. Like if you're a wedding videographer, right? Ask questions to the venue coordinator, get to know them, like just get curious. And when you're doing it, not because you're trying to sell someone on something, but actually genuinely care about where is it that they want to go. Be their cheerleader to get their hopes and dreams. And then if there's a way you can help them get there, then it's an obvious like, hey, we want your help, right? But it starts there, and that's where you lay the groundwork to be able to like have growth in your business in the future. And then one little hack I'll add, as Amelia's adding, is if you're getting stuck and getting curious, another little trick is mirroring, which is really helpful, which shows people that you're listening. So there's two ways you can mirror. You can mirror by just literally repeating the last thing that they just told you. The more organic way that I would say I like to actually mirror, that's a more therapeutic way, is just repeat back what they told you in your own words and ask them, did I get that right? What I'm hearing you say is this. Is that true?
Yeah.
Because either it will be true and they'll feel really seen, or it'll be wrong and it gives you a way to actually understand where they're at. Because most people in conversations are spending their time while they're listening, not listening and deciding what they're going to say next.
Yeah.
So when you actually repeat back what they said in your own words and ask them, one, you're showing that you care to understand, did I actually get what you said, right? And two, if they did, now they feel seen, or they give you a chance to correct you, and then you're going to actually understand where they want to go and get toward, so it's better. It's a win-win either way. That's how I do. Practice in conversations with people if you don't have clients you're working with, and it'll help you get better with them. And if you do have clients you're working with, try this on your new sales call. You don't need a big script. You don't need a whole thing. Just literally get curious and see where the adventure takes you. So that, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.